Biden and Xi agree to resume military-to-military communication, take steps to curb fentanyl production. U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese leader Xi Jinping agreed Wednesday to take steps to curb fentanyl production and restore military communication during their summit, a senior U.S. official told CNN. The results, which were expected ahead of the talks, amount to progress in improving the still tense U.S.-China relationship. But the leaders stopped short of a joint statement or other declaration of cooperation. During the high-stakes summit, which wrapped up after roughly 4 hours, Biden made clear China should lean on Iran to avoid steps that would aggravate the tense situation in the Middle East. The leaders also made clear they wanted to stabilize their country's relationship after months of heightened tension. Biden had aimed to use the meeting to put the U.S.-China relationship on steadier footing after months of tension between the two superpowers. Ahead of the talks, U.S. officials were careful to manage expectations, saying they did not expect a long list of outcomes or even a joint leaders' statement, as is customary after such summits. The primary objective for the talks appeared to be the restoration of channels of communication, principally through the military, to avoid the type of miscommunication or miscalculation U.S. officials fear could lead to open conflict. The senior U.S. official said China agreed to go after companies who produce precursor chemicals to fentanyl, the powerful narcotic that has fueled a drug crisis in the United States. The U.S. will watch closely to see if China follows up on the commitments made in the summit. Xi also agreed to mechanisms that would address potential military miscalculations, and agreed to forums for the two sides to present their concerns. Senior Biden administration officials said leading up to Wednesday's summit that their Chinese counterparts had been reluctant over the past few months to agree to re-establishing military-to-military communications. But it was an issue that Biden himself and his top advisors like Secretary of State Antony Blinken, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin raised in nearly every conversation we've had with the Chinese, as the U.S. tried to underscore that it was absolutely critical that this channel be reopened. U.S. officials said that the Chinese spy balloon incident, in particular, underscored the importance of military-to-military communications, trying to keep tension from tipping into conflict. Despite a deep and apparently warm personal relationship cultivated during their time as vice presidents, Biden wished Xi's wife a happy birthday at one point during the summit, with the Chinese leader thanking him for the reminder. The two men have overseen a deterioration in U.S.-China relations to the lowest level in decades. The talks in California were very direct, and included more back-and-forth discussion between the two men than their meeting a year ago, a senior U.S. official said. The U.S. president was very direct with Xi on a number of topics, the official said, while Xi also raised his concerns about rhetoric inside the United States about China. According to readouts provided by U.S. officials and Chinese state media, it appeared both leaders were very frank with one another. Xi at one point called on the United States to not scheme to suppress or contain China, Chinese state media reported.